What's up, everybody? This is your favorite neighborhood commentator, Ed, here to continue on today's adventures of Uncharted Drakes Fortune. Finally got it right this time. I think I spent the last couple of parts mixing up my words as far as trying to get the fucking title right. So, and I get the feeling that from even going forward, I'm still gonna wind up like fucking it up just because it's easy to go ahead and get that mixed up, because I often think that it's either Drake's Fortune or a Thief's Fortune. So for future parts, if I mess it up, please know that it's not me actually intentionally trying to fuck it up. It's because I just get them mixed up. So I might need to have like a cue card in front of me, or just or just have the game box sitting in front of me every time I do this. That way I know that I'm actually going to get the name right when I do these intros. But outside of that, this is going to be a different setup because I'm doing this post commentary, mainly because it seems like these playthroughs, Spider-Man went through it with the PS4 constantly injecting the discs, and now with this playthrough, I'm having memory leak issues with my PC, and it's been something that has been plaguing these videos in the past. Because for any videos that you've heard that may have had a little bit of crackling, or the videos may have slowed down at points, that's because there is a memory leak issue that's been happening, that's been desyncing the audio to the video. Like once that memory leak happens, then the video will at points, just like I mentioned before, will just slow down, and it's really challenging to go ahead and try to sync the commentary to the video, because if it was the commentary that was kind of fucked up, like if it was a commentary that was like maybe a couple of seconds too far or a couple of seconds too short, then I could go ahead and measure that to the video, so that way I could go ahead and have everything synced up properly. But when it happens on the video end, then it gets really tough, because it's either gonna be way too far in the future when something happens versus when I say it, versus way too far in the past from when something happens to when I say it. And I really tried to go ahead and get this particular video to sync up properly, video to commentary, and it just was not working. And after a while, it was a tough decision I had to make, but I just said fuck it. Because, and for anybody out there that does videos like this, when you have really good commentary parts, and that's why I choose to do these in live commentary, just because my reactions are so much more genuine. I get to be in the moment. I really prefer doing live versus post, where I'm kind of sitting here looking at things happen, and like I've already got the video done, as you see, as I'm sitting here talking about this now. But like doing it post commentary, I feel like it's a little bit out of my control, if that makes any sense. Because I feel like it takes me out of it. It's like I feel like it's almost scripted. Like I like being in the moment. I like being in the zone when certain things happen. So that's why all the videos that you've seen so far, and all the videos in the future, well, I wouldn't say all, but I will say like the vast majority of the videos that you will see in the future will be done in live commentary format, unless it's something that is really like editing heavy, to where I will just sit down and just do that. Like if I have like an actual script I want to put to a video, that's when I do that shit post. Cause yeah, that'll be fucking tough as hell to go ahead and try to do like a posted, like a scripted video where things need to happen at every certain point, to do just live. That's why those commentaries I did, well, I wouldn't say commentaries, the recaps that I did for the Spider-Man playthrough, those definitely had to get done in post. Like I could not do those live, because they needed a hell of a lot of editing in order to go ahead and really get the vibes and the timing down for certain events that I put in those. So yeah, for anybody that is wondering why I am doing this, that is the issue. Now I'm trying to go ahead and figure out what the fuck this memory leak issue is, because there is a program that I did go into my PC to see what the hell is doing it. So I haven't quite gotten that nailed down yet. So for anybody that comes across this in the future and may have their 2 cents as to what programs or what I can do in order to go ahead and just eliminate this shit. And if I can't eliminate it completely, then vastly, like maybe like 95-96% get rid of this, so that way I don't have to go ahead and constantly waste whole sessions and be in fear of my PC fucking slowing down and ruining the video. Luckily, this particular section that I'm doing here wasn't that long. It was about maybe I would say like at least over a half hour's worth of gameplay that I had to reduce, so it wasn't anything too chunky. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking into that in the future. In the meantime, I'm just gonna have to really be careful and just monitor like what the fuck you see right there, exactly right there, that little fucking yep, that's the memory leak issue happening right there. So like I care about the quality in these videos, and I do not want to go ahead and constantly put out like subpar content. Like I don't want to just be one of those people that just throws this shit up there without and know that there's something wrong, but just say, hey, fuck it. Like I do want to try to go ahead, and for the people that watch this, I want you to see that I actually do have care that I put into these videos in terms of wanting the viewer to really like immerse themselves and not have to worry about like trying to go ahead and like not like figure out what the fuck's going on. Whereas I'm going to be very transparent about that. So yeah, like for everybody out there that's watching, yeah, trust me, I'm definitely trying to get this sorted out. So outside of that, yeah, you may have noticed in the beginning of this video where I stopped a little bit to go ahead and take a look at the Skybox, and that was a reason. And for this game, like looking over the water at that time, like the water looks pretty good. I'm a sucker for water in games. Like I feel like water is one of those things where you could tell like how good a game can get graphically, or the power of certain systems when you look at the water. Because I feel like if you got a game that has really good looking water, like damn near like photorealistic water, that shit fucking just it's tits. Like I feel like that's a mark of how powerful a system can be by how it does certain like simple things like water. And with this game, the water doesn't look bad. It actually looks pretty good. Hell, you get a wet model for Drake. So that shows the power that, at least at the time, this game was playing with. Hell, even on the PS4, and with the remastered version, it has even more power to play with because it's been remastered, because it's running at a higher frame rate. Like it has way more to pull out to really make some of these textures and animations pop. But going back to what I was saying, I was looking at the Skybox, and I don't understand, with as much as this game likes to go ahead and do graphically, the one thing it couldn't do, which is like actually have a Skybox that actually moves. Like the clouds don't move, and that's something that bugs me in games where you have all this detail, this attention to detail paid to certain things, and yet there are certain obvious things you feel like that should be like a no-brainer to go ahead and be like, all right, we'll go ahead and do a little animation there, but it doesn't happen. And that happens in this game, which is the clouds just don't move. Like that really that kills me. Another game I could think of, because this is not an old game, like I could expect that like in games like the N64 or like the PS1 era, maybe as far as PS2, but when you're getting up to PS3 and higher, I expect if I look at the sky in any game that the clouds should move. But in this game, they don't. Like in a recent example of this I can think of is what's the game? What the fuck is that game? Oh, I'm blanking on it. It'll come to me. Give me a minute. Far Cry 4. Like that game is also like visually stunning, but that game also suffers from lack of moving clouds. Once again, plenty of detail paid to everything in the game, but the fucking Skybox doesn't move, and I don't understand that at all. So for any developers out there, get on that shit. Be sure that your fucking Skyboxes, if you have clouds in your game, be sure that if I look up at them, they should move. Like, even if they're moving slowly, just be sure that they move. Don't go ahead and just make it a still JPEG image. It's not cool. Not cool at all. But outside of that, yes, we are on the road to the holidays. So we, at the time of this recording, are way past Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody out there enjoyed their Thanksgiving. I did as well. Turkey wasn't too bad. Though me personally, if I had my pick, I would much rather a holiday ham, because any turkey that I've had in the past has been at best okay. I've never had a turkey that blew me away. Like, any turkeys that I've had, like I said, have been okay at best. Like, they've just been like a little too dry at points, and it seems like it's always consistent, where the turkey, the best parts will always be the drumsticks, the turkey legs, always, without a doubt. Anything that's not the breast, anything that sits in the juices that has time to go ahead and soak in that shit, tastes way better than what you get above the juice line. And like, I remember I had to tell my mom this at one Thanksgiving. I think it was either last year or the year before, where I'm like, all right, Mom, I'm gonna have to let you know something. Like your cooking is not terrible by any means, but you have to go ahead and do a better job with these turkeys. Like, these turkeys just like, I want more flavor, I want more juiciness. Like, I want my turkey to look like, I want, when you slice the turkey breast, I want it to look like how it looks in like a TV ad. Like, I wanted to see that juiciness that just comes out of it. Like, I want that turkey. Like, I want a good turkey. And I've always been curious as to what a professionally made turkey would taste like. Like, I'm chasing that dream. And the one turkey I've always heard of that is the shit are fried turkeys. I've never had a fried turkey. I've heard the legend plenty of times of fried turkeys just being the absolute tits, and I've never had it, and I've always wanted to try it. Like, I'm not sure if there are restaurants out there that do this, if there are any. I haven't heard of any. So I'm still chasing that. But outside of that, if I had my actual choice based on what I've had in the past between turkey versus ham, I'd much rather a ham. I'm a ham fan. And also to say, if you think that I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent, there's not much going on in this section, which outside of just shooting. So there are going to be points where I just go ahead and go off the rails a little bit and just ramble on to go ahead and just talk while I play. So yeah, but outside of that, yeah, I'm looking forward to the holiday ham. And for anybody that lives in Chicago, for those who have heard of it, you know how good their hams are. But for those who haven't heard of it, I highly suggest that you go ahead and stop by the Honey Baked Ham Store. I remember when my former boss was around the holidays talking about like the stuff that he ate for the holidays, and he always told me about the hams that he got from that particular place. And for a while I was like, yeah, fine, yeah, whatever. I always just said, fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and just go with the ham that my mom buys. And one Christmas, like a couple of years after, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. And I remember that Christmas specifically because that was the Christmas where some asshole rear-ended my car. I'm just sitting there minding my own fucking business, and some dude in one of those those CDT trucks, like those trucks that you normally see that they load disabled people in, the one with the wheelchair lifts. Like, I'm just sitting there minding my own business, and I just get vitally jerked forward. And this dude wasn't even paying attention and fucking rear-ended my Genesis. I had a Genesis at the time. I don't have it anymore. And at the time, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal because, like, he hit me, but I didn't really notice any damage. So he got off light until I got to the fucking ham store and I actually looked at my trunk, and I should have looked at it more closely at the time of that impact, because I saw that it actually bent the frame because my trunk closed, but there was one side of it that actually had a little more of a panel gap than the other side. It was the right side. No, it was the left side that had more of a panel gap than the right side. So I didn't really check that because like more than anything, I was worried about how much damage that motherfucker did to my bumper, because that's how hard that impact was. But the bumper just, I think it may have had like, as hard as the impact was, like just a scuff. So I'll let that motherfucker go. But I really wish I had looked at that shit after I got to the store, because yeah, that definitely would have been an insurance claim on his behalf. But outside of that, yeah, the honey baked hams they have there are fucking delicious. And anybody who hasn't tried it, I would highly suggest you go there. Like, they are fucking delicious. Now, getting back to the gameplay here, like at this point in the game, I really started to go ahead and get a good flow in terms of the gameplay, because earlier on in the playthrough, as anybody would notice, I wasn't really doing too great, mainly because it's been a minute since I played the game and I was still kind of stumbling with the controls. But by this point in the game, I actually started getting better with like knowing my reload button, knowing my cover, knowing that I can't like automatically run to cover like the Division, like I've mentioned in previous installments of this playthrough. So once I actually got out of my head that this is actually a much different game than the Division, I actually started doing way better, because this game, once you really get into a good flow, you start just mowing through enemies. Like, you start feeling like John Wick once you take your time and you just start methodically picking people off. That is the shit. And I always want to go ahead and deliver the best gameplay possible. So with that being said, like from this point forward, like I want to promise that things will get better, but things always have the potential to fuck up. So I will try to do better. Now, as you saw, I did do a jump cut there because I actually got a little lost in this section for a minute, just because I was running back and forth trying to figure out where the fucking next objective was, until the game just took pity on me and said, you know what, dude, here you are. Like, you're taking way too long to figure this out. And I'm glad that this game actually did that, because without it, I would have eventually found it, but it would have took way longer to get that done, to find this part. Because yeah, we're still looking for Elena in this installment. Like, she's the fucking carrot on the stick that the game is just making us chase. Now, that's the power of post commentary, because in the points where I'm just kind of farting around, I can go ahead and actually cut out the boring. Oh, speaking of Elena, there she is. But she didn't see us, though. I don't know, because she had the camera. I feel like she might have been looking at us, or she was just looking in our general direction. But going back to post commentary pros, like any parts where I'm farting around and I'm kind of just running around with my head cut off, if by some unlucky miracle that I have to while doing these again in post, at least those parts can get cut out. And I can always do that in live, because I have done it live. I have done it in live commentary before, like the parts in Spider-Man where I had to go ahead and do the sciencey, like the sciencey bullshit, like the fucking put the electrode in the slot part. I've done that live. So if it's not too long where I'm trying to find out what to do, then I won't cut that out, because it's not that big of a deal. But if there are parts where I'm constantly just running around trying to figure out what the fuck to do, I'm like, all right, you guys don't need to sit through that. So once again, advantage of post commentary as well as live is I get to go ahead and cut out the bullshit. So, and going back to the topic of shooting, like once again, there's always been a classic thing in games where headshots instant takedown. Like, I don't think there's any game that I played, like first person or third person shooter wise, where like a headshot will just like a headshot won't kill. But now I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about the Division, because a lot of those enemies in there are bullet spongy. They'll take massive damage from headshots, but I haven't had an experience where they were just taken down in one shot. And it also made me think, like, in terms of like realism, in terms of where you would get shot at, like if I'm thinking about it in real life, wouldn't also getting shot in the dick be like, okay, a headshot to put you down, but when I get shot in the dick, wouldn't that also just render you just straight up useless to fight? Because headshot, yeah, you're already dead, but a dick shot, like, would you really want to go ahead and continue on fighting when your dick just gets shot off? I wouldn't. That is the, I feel like even possibly higher than a headshot. That'd be a thing where if you shot me in the dick, like, guess what? The last thing in my mind at that moment, furthest from fighting, is actually no, that is the furthest from fighting. Like, I'm not trying to get shot in the dick. Like, getting my head blown off like that, not cool. Not trying to go ahead and continue any type of combat from that point forward. But I'm thinking, like, in terms of, like, if you go for like a third-person shooter, like where are other places that if you got shot in that area that you think you should just go ahead and just be like, nah, I can't fight anymore? Like, heads obvious, dicks definitely obvious. Like, what if you got like shot in the knee? Like, you just went for both knees. Like, you go ahead and render the opponent like a fucking cripple. Or if you got behind them and you just went on ahead and you just aimed directly for their spine and just paralyze them. Bam, done. Like I thought about that for a while. I'm like, that would be that'll be a big attention. That would be huge attention to detail. But I feel like, and this is just me, that the reason that something like that isn't put in more games because it would be way too exploitable. Because headshots are meant to be skill shots. Like, you have to go ahead and really be paying attention. You gotta be on your vanguard when it comes to getting a headshot. But if any game made it like that to where it doesn't take, like, you don't have to go ahead and have that much skill in order to like damage a vital organ, like, you will be able to go ahead and just take advantage of that. Like, if I could go ahead and trade in headshots for dick shots and just trade, see right there, he took like 2 or 3 shots to the dick, whereas that should have took 1 shot and he should have been gone. But if you just went on ahead and said, fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and just aim for the bigger parts and still get the same effect of a headshot, that's when people will just start like fucking just rolling through games. So I can in a sense see why like headshots like are like the penultimate, like, hey, get this, that's the ultimate mark of skill. You get to go ahead and run through enemies if you earn it. So I don't fault developers for doing that. Like, once again, you get in your John Wick mode and you can fucking mow through enemies. And speaking of John Wick, I thought about this a little while ago, whereas like, number one, I'm a dog lover, and the first John Wick, like, that fucking beagle was adorable. Like, I love that little guy. And of course John Wick loved him, otherwise he wouldn't have went on a killing spree to avenge his dog. So, and his car, but the dog, like the car, even though that boss Mustang was fucking the shit, that Mustang was awesome, but more so the dog. Now I wonder, because I feel like when people saw that dog get killed, then that just elicited like a visceral, no, that punk ass needs to die. Because there's something about seeing dogs get hurt in movies that just really just tugs at like an audience member's heartstrings, to where you hate to see a dog get hurt. Like a full-grown dog, but like a full-grown dog's bad enough, but the puppy, like this little dude is just starting off in that little creature, that little adorable creature is just starting off in life, and he got his life tragically cut short by fucking murderous assholes. Now that makes me think, like, would his motivation have been stronger if it was a kitten that got killed versus the puppy? Like, would anybody have, like, this dude needs to die, like fucking kill that dude, murder boner, to just see that dude get his, if it was a kitten, if they killed a kitten versus if it was his puppy? Because me personally, I think puppies are way cuter than kittens all day, every day. I feel like puppies are just the shit. I love dogs. I love puppies. Puppies are just cute as fuck. And I think kittens look like little aliens when they get born. Like, I mean, I'm more than likely gonna be offending the kitten crowd out there. Now, I like cats. Cats aren't bad looking, but kittens look weird. I don't really care for kittens, but puppies, you give me a puppy and I will play with those all day. Like, if you gave me the option of saving like a box full of kittens going over a waterfall versus like a box full of puppies over a waterfall, like, I would die trying for those puppies, but those kittens, I'm like, yeah, there'll be more. So with that being said, I'll just sit there and wonder whether or not that the reaction would have been stronger, not from John Wick, but from the audience members, if it was a kitten that got killed. I feel like the puppy, I feel like that was a very thought out choice of, hey, if it was a puppy that got killed, people love puppies. So if a puppy gets killed, yeah, we want to go ahead and go on a murder spree to go ahead and avenge that little puppy. And that dude, the guy that killed John Wick's dog, he got off way easier than I thought he would. Like, I don't know, like, for all the shit that he went through in order to get to that dude, like, you thought that he had some like master level torture planned for that motherfucker. Like, we thought that he was just gonna go ahead and just get like a law-abiding citizen type torture. Like, he was gonna go ahead and fuck his shit. But no, he shot him in the head. Well, he shot him twice. Once in the stomach, once in the head. Pop, pop. He double tapped that dude. And much like I got double tapped there, because I got in a situation where I was just fucked. Like, it was one of those points where you just see your imminent demise just coming, and you're like, oh, I might as well just fucking accept it. I'm just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I got some pump action fuck off right there. Only death in this part too, I might add. Like, I didn't die at any point up until this part, so I gotta say, doing a good job. But yeah, that fucking dude that killed John Wick's dog got off easy. And that series in general has a real thing for like showing how cool dogs can be, while also simultaneously showing like we aren't afraid to go ahead and fuck up a dog. Like, they did that in 3 with Halle Berry's dog. I'm like, Jesus, this series loves and like it has a love-hate relationship with dogs. But either way, yeah, that dude got off fucking easy. And also, in terms of the John Wick movies in general, fucking stellar. I do like them. I didn't think I was actually going to sit there and watch all of those John Wick movies, because John Wick initially is a series that or movie series that I just really didn't get into until after the fact, much like most forms of media, which I'm like, kind of meh on it, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Because I actually called John Wick, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this in a previous playthrough, but I'm going to mention it again, where like I was just bored one night and I just saw John Wick on TV. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me go ahead and watch this. One shit also on, and that's how I wound up actually saying, you know what? This movie is really well done, and they only get better as they go. Like, they just up the action. Like, they really do a good job with the action. And for what I've heard, Keanu Reeves, like, he really put in the work to learn the proper gun discipline in order to really make those scenes like really fucking pop. They really shine. Like, it shows the discipline and Keanu's work ethic in terms of him wanting to be sure that those movies and those choreographed like gunfight scenes really stood out. And I feel like, as far as the choreography, like the second movie really stepped it up, and specifically when it came to Common and Keanu Reeves' rivalry, like their fight scenes were actually way better than I expected, and I was not expecting that. Like, you normally get a celebrity in a movie, and I guess they'll put in the work to a degree, but they don't really seem like I feel like it's kind of. I feel like they may not mean it that way, but it says it kind of looks like a little robotic. But in that movie, it seems like those two, like, were whatever art or whatever shit that they had to do, like they were studying it for like years. Like, especially with Common in particular, like he actually did a really good job being an assassin in that movie. Line wise, they didn't give him much, because he was just like, that dude had one speed, and that was intense. Every scene you see him in, he did not look less than I want to fuck you up. Like, well, of course, towards John Wick, because he killed his I guess, for lack of a better term, damn, what's the word I'm looking for that? He killed the woman he was trying to protect. So he had every reason to want to go ahead and fuck him up. But those scenes, like with him and Keanu, yeah, those scenes actually really stood out. Like, they both ended up putting the work. And then up in the ante even more was Halle Berry in the third installment. Halle Berry fucking put in work. Like, she was actually a fucking, she rocked in that movie. The third John Wick, Parabellum, oh hell yeah. Like, she got her screen time in. And it's funny because, like, I feel like Common like definitely had like a decent amount of screen time, but it wasn't like overstated. I feel like there must have been something in Halle Berry's contract as far as that third movie was concerned, where she was gonna get an X amount of screen time and no less than that, because she is in there just fucking shit up for a good amount of that movie. Like, I felt like she said, if I'm gonna be in this, you better be sure that I go ahead and get like a couple of scenes, like a whole sequence where I'm just going ahead and just murdering dudes, and they fucking gave that to her. Like, you go, girl. Like, I will say that her sequences were actually pretty fucking good. And I would highly suggest you go out and go and give it a look. Like, those are really good, like really good action flicks. And I'm happy to know that there is a 4th installment coming. I'm not sure when, but yeah, whenever that comes out, yeah, that movie automatically gets my ticket. So outside of the John Wick talk, yeah, we are now nearing the ending of this particular section. So I'm actually glad I actually got this done in post, because it actually let me go ahead and focus more on like really talking to you guys versus just like sitting here having to divide my attention between gameplay and commentary. And there we go, the hello Mr. Thompson prompt just popped up. Now, will I be going ahead and doing more post commentary parts in the future? Like for now, the only time I really done these was when shit fucks up, but there is an inherent advantage of doing this just because I actually get a chance to really focus on speaking. So I don't know. For the time being, live commentary for me is where it's at. So for the foreseeable future, that's where I'm going to keep it, but I'm not ruling out post commentary. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it live. So for everybody out there, this is the end of the video. Thank you for tuning in. If you like the video and you want to go ahead and see more, please leave me a like, subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you guys in the next installment of Uncharted Drakes Fortune. So until then, this is Ed signing out. Peace.